Hiya, and welcome back to Dawn Chorus, the game that teaches us that we are willing to wait for a long time for Mr. Meow Meow. Okay, hang on, let me show you. Okay, so, let me adjust this. So, I have a boom filter on my microphone. This is a pop filter. It, in case you couldn't see, there's like a mesh in here. I don't really use it anymore. Anyways, let's just hop right in. Devon. And with the last conscious thought, I hope I see Devon in my dreams today. Soft and pliable. Unfolding and blossoming. Growing towards the light. Stretching out to escape the shade. Constant flux. What will I be tomorrow? I'm formless. Expanding in all directions. Oh shit. I'm blind, grasping for anything to hold along my way. I'm fluid, taking the shape of whatever container they pour me into. I'm waiting for someone to come and show me what I can become. It's dark here at the bottom. So dark that my thoughts become splotches of light at first, then colors, and then visions and sounds. And I dream. I dream of arms draped over mine, of paws entwined, of bodies joined into a creature of many limbs. The borders of my body have always felt like confines to shatter, shackles to break free from. I want to feel the edges of my body give in and become softer, hazy. This lake I'm suspended in, I want it to welcome me. As my fur floats to the surface, I want to dissolve in it completely. To be one with it. Hang on, I'm gonna get rid of this. Okay, I'm not holding it anymore. Sup? I float up near the surface, my mind lucid now. The borders harden again. But the want remains, deep down still palpable, somewhere in my deepest part of what I am. The striving for unity. The need for completeness. The abstract takes form, the dream changes. The arms are Devon's arms, and it's his torso my back is nestled against. Pressed to the brick wall of his chest, I'm shielded from all harm. I'm safe in these arms, even from death. I need him here. I need these arms to hide myself in. I'm waiting for him to come and take my paw and take me with him wherever he wants. But he has to stay. If he goes back, all is lost, then he's out of my reach. As long as he's here, there's time we can use to grow closer together. As long as he is here, there's a chance this works out too. It hails above the surface. Pea-sized bullets of ice shoot deep into the water all around me, and then float up, melting. But I float in the opposite direction, down, deeper into whatever this feeling is. Day 4. Hang on, I gotta delete something real quick. Okay. The wind licks deep at my face. The wind licks at my face, wet with sea spray and fog. A horn blasts from a boat approaching the harbor, interrupting the monotonous background of seagulls and rolling waves. It's making the biting cold much worse, but it doesn't mean it's not worth it. At least it's warmer than yesterday. With my paws in my pockets, I look beyond the boats, between the rocky edges of the mountains surrounding the island, at the razor-sharp line of the horizon separating the two blue expanses. It's nice indeed. The sea, it really is nice. Oh, yeah. We've already been here yesterday, though. You didn't like it then? I did, but I was tired after the lectures and didn't look around that much. And there's something calming about this place that I missed the last time. It's not very obvious, but it's there. There is. I'm glad you feel it. Devon smiles softly. Another thread of understanding weaves between us. And I was busy taking photos yesterday. Hiding myself behind the camera puts some more distance between me and the scenery, too. It's like taking myself out of it, becoming an external observer. Do you know what I mean? I think I can imagine. I've never dabbled in photography much myself. It's harder to notice if you're just snapping pics, but it's definitely a thing. Maybe you're right. I never thought about it as much as I never... as... but... I never thought about it much as I never took many photos to begin with, but yeah, I think I know what you mean. I took my mom's camera with me for a trip once. A trip to the beach by chance. I took a lot of photos on the way at different stops, but when I looked at them afterwards, I felt disconnected from them. Taking them didn't feel too great either. I wanted to document the whole thing, but it always felt like stepping outside of it. By the time I got to the ocean, I left the camera in the trunk of the car. I think that's when I fell in love with the ocean, too. It was quite a formative experience. I love taking photos, but yeah, I get you. I prefer to specifically go for photo walks rather than having a camera with me at all times for that reason. And I like dreamier photos anyway. Texture, shapes, sometimes just the clear sky. I need to be in the mood to shoot something like this, though. By the way, I don't think I've seen your photos. Do you upload them somewhere? I have a Glimmer, but I don't use it that much. I should make myself an Insta ounce. He's talking about Instagram. He's talking about Instagram. Gram to ounce. It's not Instagram anymore. It's Insta ounce. But I'm not too fond of social media. I know it's hard to make a career without one now, though. I admire the resolution, though. I feel like the internet is turning more deranged every day. Maybe. But it's still useful. Much easier to connect with people through it. And I'd be happy to see your work if you'd like to share it. I nod, my palms getting sweaty at the thought. It's my work. It's part of myself in a way, and a part I'm just starting to build. Of course I'm nervous to share it. Devon glances in the direction of the horizon, too. A natural end of conversation. That's good, though. I'd rather immerse myself in the moment than think about social media. Worrying about my photos not being good enough isn't a tempting alternative either. I know I'm only learning and looking for my path, but knowing it and feeling it are two totally different things. And now I'm already worrying about it. Great! Do you want to go to a cafe, maybe? You look like you're cold. Would be nice, honestly. I was thinking of grabbing some food, too. Good idea. I'd like to bite something before the concert, too. Should we message Rune? He said pretty decidedly that he'd rather spend the day alone. I don't think he's taken the news too lightly. I'll message him, though. Maybe he's changed his mind. What news? I think I'm out of the loop here. Oh, right. He got rejected from an exchange program he applied to. It was a pretty big deal to him. I'm afraid he'll need some time to process this. He's not very good at accepting failures. I'm a little worried about him. He's been quite explicit in stating that he wants to be alone. So I won't bother him about it now. Maybe he'd like to join us for lunch, though. So, any wishes regarding food? Something cheap, perhaps? It's my treat, so don't worry about it. No, it's fine. I can pay for myself, and I'm fine with whatever, honestly. At this point, I'm so hungry that I just want to get some food into myself. I'm less concerned about what kind of food it'll be. How about something local this time? Norwegian cuisine isn't too famous for delicious food, but it makes the most sense to have local food while we're here. Sounds good. I think I've seen a nice place in the center. McDonald's? Can we go to McDonald's? Coffee or tea for you? Coffee. That salmon was mighty heavy. Might have had a bit too much of it. Haven't had fish in a while and I forgot how filling it is. Or better, I'll go with you and check out what they have on the menu. The laminated menus lie on the counter, yellow ink formed into rows of elegant... The fuck? My fucking TV! Oh no, I'm good. I just took a day off. In fact, maybe this weekend if shit goes right, then I'll be taking some more days off. But no, my fucking TV just activated. This damn remote, no. I'm turning off voice activation and plugging it in. This damn remote. plug that shit in. Okay, now go hide. Go hide, no one cares about you. Bauhaus influenced sans serif letters on black paper. Simple and effective. The card lists several different coffees and a few teas and infusions. Before the beverage sections end, and I bring my eyes back to the top of the page. I'm not feeling fancy though. Regular tried and true black coffee is what I'm feeling like right now. Maybe I'll order something fancier after that. Decided on something? I think I'll take filter coffee. They seem very Scandinavian to me. How about you? Just black coffee. I need something to save me from the impending food coma. We pay for our orders and wait for them at the counter, observing the preparation process. Hang on, I'm going to adjust my mic levels, and there we go, it's better. Devon's coffee comes in a thick glass server on a copper plate, along with a simple cup with no handles. Mine is simply poured into a mug before being passed to me. Do you see any open tables or just that couch? None. I scanned the room on the way. We both sit down on a couch, putting the tray and cup on the solid wood of our table. It's a bit cramped here, but nothing terrible. It's harder to talk if we're not facing each other, though. Move closer to the side of the couch, leaving more space between me and Devon. The atmosphere here is hushed, but not stiff. There's a steady murmur of conversations around us forming a droning background. Another coffee is being made. A hiss of the espresso machine rises above the voices. The shelves are heavy with books. New releases, literary classics, names big and unknown, travel books, used books, self-help books. There's even a whole segment dedicated to photography with albums, books of essays, and guides. Book! It's a cool place. How did you find it? Bjorn recommended it to me. He was here yesterday meeting with an author.
Devon, I saw him
sneaking out between the lectures and asked him about it in the evening. He doesn't have to sneak out if he has someplace else to be, but I'd rather know where he is in case something happens. I grab my coffee, lift it to my snout, and slurp. Then put it out hesitantly. Too hot to drink yet. Yeah, reasonable. Feels like a nice place for an event like this. Feels a bit like a community hub. Devon has poured himself some coffee from the server already. Much less dark than mine, must be a much lighter roast. I can smell it from here though, and it smells amazing, fresh and zesty like a sunny morning brewed with dew. So, what do you like about the sea that much? The calmness? I wanted to ask while we were at the coast, but I forgot. Oh, it'd be hard to encapsulate all of it. I find new things in the world and myself each time I'm at the ocean. And some part of it is the nostalgia after the trip I've mentioned, too, I think. Where was it? I think the East Coast is close to Ohio. So I'm guessing somewhere there, but I have no idea what place would be the closest. I wouldn't say close, but I wasn't aiming for close. It was an escape. I ran away from home. That in itself makes it rather special. I took the most essential things I owned and the camera from my mom, left my SIM card in my room, got into the car, and drove away. And you headed for the ocean? I didn't know where I was going. I chose to travel north and reach Lake Erie, but it felt way too close to stop. I rode along the coast and signs for Toronto started appearing, and I thought that it might be the destination. But it turned out that I didn't want a destination, and when I reached the end of the lake, instead of turning towards Toronto, I continued eastward. I slept in some motel in Pennsylvania and took the first photo there. It was so weird to step out of the car in a different state and breathe in the dusty air there. Felt like the first lungful of freedom. Oh, hiya. And those photos, do you have them somewhere? I actually should have them somewhere on my phone. I keep most of my photos in the cloud. I never know when they might come in handy. He slides his phone across the table. The gallery opened on his adolescent years. The few photos he took during the trip are easily identifiable amidst the photos of his hometown, gritty and dark. Where's this one from? I love the dreamy look. That was the first photo I took on the trip. I slept in some motel in Pennsylvania and snapped a photo in the parking lot. It was so weird to step out of the car in a different state and breathe in the dusty air there. It really felt like the first full breath of my life. All my belongings I could have needed fitted inside the small backpack on my shoulder. As I walked up the stairs to my room, I felt near weightless. It was a cheap motel and also the best I could afford. The mattress creaked under me in protest, even though I was much lighter back then. The paper-lined walls were sticky and stained with cigarette smoke. I went to the window, opened it, and lit up a cigarette from a pack I bought that morning before leaving. Terrible idea. The whole rest of the pack ended up in the trash. It was getting late and I didn't know what to do with myself. There wasn't any Wi-Fi in the motel, but I was happy that was the case. I wouldn't want to spend the evening sitting and browsing the internet, put on American Pawball, and tossed the phone aside, landing on the bed with a soft thud. Suddenly, with no warning, a loneliness bore down on me, so intense that it threatened to crush me under its weight, where before I saw blinding light there was now a black hole, swallowing everything, expanding outwards. I was completely alone here, alone in this whole world. Hungry, away from home, away from everyone I knew. Free for the first time in my life, and without a clue what to do with this freedom. The moon filled the room with a silvery glow. I looked at it through the window, yellowed curtains pulled aside, the silent witness of my turmoil. I might as well have been on its surface, with how alien and otherworldly the motel room felt. Retreating into myself, I closed my eyes and fell asleep. Somewhere beyond the horizon of my consciousness, the singer crooned, backed by jazzy drums and labyrinthine riffs, singing about my youth. I left the next morning at 6 a.m. as the sun rose. A quick shower and I was on my way. I felt better but still as aimless as the day before, and even more lost, so I yearned to be in motion again. I still didn't know where I was going, but I decided that driving until I felt like it's enough was the best plan I could devise in these circumstances. It was good to be in the car again. My paws grabbed the steering wheel and felt the familiar ridges of the cheap upholstery. I found comfort in the hypnotic movements and the dusty smell permeating the cabin. This was my space. I kicked into first gear and rolled through the parking lot, and soon I was on the road again. My mind lingered on the events from yesterday for a moment after I passed by the diner from yesterday, till I rolled the windows down and let the wind in. I was on the right path. For now there was just me and the road, and the safe bubble I watched it from, gliding over the smooth asphalt. A mixtape of solo David Urbian and his earlier band, Japan, was flowing from the speakers. The monotonous landscape was like a balm on my troubled mind, and driving manual left me with less space for thinking. Focused completely on driving and the music, my mind switched off. I was leaving what I knew behind, moving towards the rising sun. The states changed again, but the border was just a line drawn on the map, abstract and arbitrary. I stopped only at the gas station to refill the tank in my stomach, forward and ahead. The unchanging landscape soon started to get to me, though. I wanted to get somewhere, but I felt like I was driving in one place, only the trees outside the car moving and the rest staying still. I knew this couldn't go on forever. There had to be more than this. I had to move forward and into something new. Somewhere else. The day was slowly ending,
It's time to
and I
drink
was
water.
tired after driving the whole time.
It's time to drink water.
I found some roadside motel again and got a bed
It's
for the
time
night.
to drink water.
It was way too soon to fall into the routine.
It's time
But
to
the
drink
movements
water.
became somewhat familiar. A short rest, a trip to a local diner, a shower, and American Pawball. After the whole day in the car, even the Spartan room and diner food felt decadent, and I was happy to finish the day without any adventures. There was one more thing I wanted to do before moving forward, though. See the lake up close. I didn't get to the shore before the day before, focused on doing the most miles I could, but now in another state and done with driving for the day, I was no longer in a hurry. The motel was close to the shore, just a short walk away through the trees to get there. I only took my camera, headphones, and a bag of chili lemon peanuts with me. I walked out of the woods into the most scenic location I've been to by that point in time, save for the Grand Canyon, maybe. The view before me was serene, unlike the commercial beach I went to with my father a few months back. The lake stretched to the horizon, disappearing in the mist, joining with the sky. In my ears, David Urbian crooned softly, singing of rain falling on the waterfront, but the coast before me was crisp and bathed in the orange glow of the setting sun instead. My soul soared with strings as my eyes took in the view. I had to sit down. There was a flat stretch of grass to my left, and that's where I headed. It was far from being empty. A few families with children and a few couples were there, furred and furless bodies lying on the grass. strolling and running along the muddy coast. I found a neat spot with nobody between me and water and sat down there, paws sinking into the grass at my sides. Pleasure shoot up from my paw pads and through my arms, my brain happy with the contact with the ground. The scenery was so absurdly idyllic that I had to stop myself from laughing. There was someone else there that I didn't notice at first. The only person around my age, and the only person seemingly alone there. An otter, shirtless, was lying in the grass not too far from me, propped up on his elbows, looking at the lake through rather unnecessary at that time of the day sunglasses. Shirtless. He was looking straight ahead, so I let my eyes linger on him a bit longer. The golden glow was shining at his chest, toned but not overly. Less than mine at that point in time. He took good care of his body. That much was obvious. My heart started to beat stronger. There was something in him that didn't let me turn away. My thoughts circled around him like satellites pulled by his magnetism. I wonder what he was doing here, where he got from. Was he a local or a traveler like me, on a search for something? This face, unmoving and unreadable. What could have lied behind it? What mind? What personality? I wanted to know him. I felt his pull, but there was something in me that didn't let me act. I wanted to wave to him, do anything, but I could only look. I left after 20 minutes, maybe, when the same album I was listening to when I came there, Secrets of the Beehive, was ending for the second time. Waterfront accompanied me again as my paws led me back to the motel. I kept glancing at the otter through the bushes until he disappeared from view completely. As I walked into the shade of trees with the slightest sense of defeat somewhere in the backdrop of my thoughts, it entered my mind that it might always be this way. Maybe I would always be just observing, never acting. Maybe it was my nature. It was a grim thought, but one I took very seriously. Yo, what? I haven't decided if I want to do Klaus's route yet. I woke up in the middle of the night. There was some shouting outside. Got up and went to the window just in time to see the same otter I was on the beach being punched in the face by a deer, falling backwards onto gravel. The deer was clearly older than him, maybe in his 30s. Seemed inebriated but not totally drunk. He shouted something, spat, and strode away towards the town, the otter observing him from the ground. There was blood dripping from his snout onto his t-shirt. My veins flushed with ice. I stood at the window, hidden behind the curtain, waiting for someone to come out and help the otter, but there was no one. Should have ran out to help him. I should have, yet I stood there, rooted to the spot. Then, when I could start moving in, my shaking legs led me back to the bed. Sat down on the edge and stared at the wall. Spent a good 5 minutes like that, feeling terrible with myself for not doing anything, till finally I reasoned with myself that I have to go there and help. I put on the jacket and left the room, stepping out into the chilly September air. The wind hit me, much stronger than I anticipated, and I shivered in my flimsy jacket, rushing into the parking lot. The otter was gone. On the spot where he fell, there were only a few dark splotches and broken sunglasses. They must have shattered as he fell to the ground. I leaned down to pick them up, but as my paw pad grasped the edge of the metal frame, I changed my mind. Went up to my room again, packed all my belongings, and left. Sitting in my car, snapped another photo through the side window, just a dirt patch, dimly lit with the motel's cold light, trees disappearing in the darkness stretching over the land. The eerie silence there didn't make it to the photo. I started the car and then I was on the road again. The last 24 hours all went without any interactions with other people other than service workers. It was a good feeling. I didn't have anything to say, and I was happy I could stay silent, and similarly happy that nobody wanted anything from me. I had no idea where I was, and I didn't feel like checking the map. This state of being lost, this limbo, felt both overwhelming and addictive, and I kept falling deeper into it like a well, wondering if there's something on the other side or I was going to crash into the hard ground. I felt lost in the world around me. It seemed like it suddenly expanded to enormous proportions. I didn't know where my place or purpose in it was. With my direction being the furthest I could go, I rode onwards. At the break of dawn, I ran out of music. I downloaded only a few albums that I knew I would feel like listening to and already listened to each a dozen times. Now I only had silence as my company, another void that slowly filled with my thoughts. Driving, I thought about my life up to that point. I thought about who I was and about all the time I had wasted. I thought about the otter from the previous evening. All I had ever done was running away. I ran away from him. I ran away from my problems. I ran away from home. So many lost chances. So many lost days. I'd pull off from the main road and stop at the closest town. It took me half an hour to get myself back together, just in time for the storm to come and batter the windshield with raindrops fatter than hail. Head resting on the steering wheel, I watched the puddles forming on the concrete sidewalk. A figure emerged from the wall of rain, stepping into the headlights. A feline, a mountain lion, cream-colored fur sticking to their head, two round ears pointing upwards. They looked in my direction, eyes shining in the dark like two emeralds before darting forward, disappearing into the dark. What anyone could be doing out in this weather? My first instinct was to look the other way, pretend I didn't see them. It was a strategy that let me survive up to this point. Pretend you didn't hear, ignore, keep walking, turn away. Did I ever tackle anything head on? I opened the door and shouted into the night after them, waited a moment, listening. Instead of a response, I heard hurried steps, each punctuated with a loud splash. They walked up to the car, head tilted to the side, puzzled. Do you need a ride? Their head tilted even further, their long earring rested on his shoulder. Shielded from the rain with only a rugged denim jacket with linen crop top underneath it. It wasn't cold yet, but it wasn't a good temperature to be out in the rain either. They were a stranger, though. Inviting them into my car felt like a bad idea, but I already did that. Too late to back out. Where are you heading? Ahead, anywhere really. They eyed me curiously, and only then I realized that my response was suspicious at best. If I were them, I'd run away at that moment, happy I escaped with my life. Beaver Backwater? I'm not sure where it is, but if you give me directions, sure. They took a step towards the car, but then hesitated. The comfort of a car won in the end. One more glance, and they closed the distance, opened the passenger door, and got in. We rode for a while in complete silence. They had a smell of wet fur that wasn't unpleasant but completely dominated the palate in a car. I was on high alert, and he remained suspicious of me too. To tighten up the atmosphere a bit, I put David Urbian on again, a deep cut. Beautiful Country, a collaboration from a scrapped project. Only a demo of it was released, by the man himself on his SoundCloud. It was the happiest song from all the music I downloaded. Halfway through the song, he turned to me and asked, "That's kinda nice. I like the lyrics." It's nice, yeah, very hopeful. The guy singing used to be popular in the 90s. Now he's mostly in the avant-garde scene. Huh, curious. Usually it's the other way around. Some people don't like fame and don't care about the money, I guess, which is nice, reassuring. What's your name? Devon. Devon. It's nice to meet you. And you? Bastion. I use they, them. Oh. The car glided past grain elevators, menacing like petrified giants lurking in the dark. It was an empty, strange land. I glanced at them. Their head was leaning on the window and they looked outside at the starry sky. They had a tank top and shorts on, clothes that no sane person would put on in this weather. Their left ear, densely furred and kind of big for the species, was adorned with earrings with long pieces of material and colors of a rainbow flag. That made me relax instantly. It was enough of a proof for me that they didn't have any bad intentions. This landscape feels almost hypnotic. Maybe. It's nostalgic for me. I can't get enough of it. Really? Fields and empty roads? You have no idea. I missed it so much. And it's not that monotonous. There's plenty of forests between the farms, not to mention villages and the fields. I love potatoes. Can't wait to have a bowl of fries. Can't wait to have a bowl of fries when I got home. Huh. It's the first time I hear someone being enthusiastic about potatoes. Oh, potatoes are interesting. The amount of different varieties in the thousands. The history of potato is the history of the last few centuries. of colonialism, of class struggle, politics, and daily life of the masses. Entire nations fed themselves with potatoes and groats. I guess I never had a personal connection with them. Maybe that's why I don't find them really interesting. My grandparents have a farm around here. Maybe that's why I do. Still, I love this landscape. I guess it feels like we're standing in one place. I've been writing for a few days now, not much is changing behind the window. They eyed me curiously. Visiting someone? Not exactly. Running away then. I kept looking ahead, gripping the steering wheel. How did he read me so easily? You could say that. Yeah, easy, I feel you. I ran away from home when I was 16, and I never regretted it. 16? Man, where did you go? Where I live now. There's a commune in the desert in New Mexico, not far from the border. Wow, one hell of a choice. How's life there? Slow but intense. A lot of work to be done every day, but a lot of fun to be had too. We're all artists, writers, painters, and musicians, and contribute to the upkeep of the place. Everything is communal. It's a lovely place. You should visit us sometime. New Mexico's quite far, but thank you. Oh, it is. I was looking for a place as far away from home as possible. Could have looked for a place anywhere else, but there was something symbolic in that, you know? I get it. I chose a different location, but I'm kind of doing the same. What are you doing out there in the rain, though? Your car broke? No, I don't have a car. I hitchhiked my way here mostly. Took a few buses, too. What? All the way from the east? Took me a while. Sorry for the smell. I didn't find a shower today. Oh, it's not bad. Don't worry. So you're coming back home now? Yes. Mother's funeral. Ah. We weren't on the best terms, but it would feel wrong not to say goodbye to her. Silence filled the space around us like a vacuum, under pressure pressing at my brain. You know, it's not easy. I know, but if you're running away, you should ask yourself what you're running from. Maybe it's home. Maybe it's a situation that's too much for you. Maybe it's the environment that feels stifling. Maybe it's you. And every place feels the same, and wherever you go, the same problems follow you. And it's not the environment you need to change. Speaking from experience, there was something in their words that rang true. I had to change something within me and come back from this trip a different person. What's in Beaver Backwater, if you don't mind me asking? A bus station. I'll wait there for the morning and then continue to my hometown. I could drive you there myself. I don't really have any plans now. I shouldn't be there before dawn. I'll find a shower, buy some flowers, and nap at the station, and then I'll be on my way. But thank you. Much appreciated. I didn't expect a lift this late. No problem, really. It's nice to talk with someone, you know? Didn't have an occasion in the last few days. Oh, believe me, I get it. Glad I'm here then. Looks like we both needed each other. They laughed with the laughter worthy of a mountain creature, with the voice of gravel and rocky peaks, confident, with experience and perspective that comes with it. We're here. The station is that white building over there. I pulled over and stopped the car. Our ride together ended all too quickly. If you'd be around New Mexico, you can always come over. Maybe I'll still be there. Any way I could contact you? I only have a number. Give me your phone, I'll write it down. Somehow I wasn't afraid to hand it to them. They could have ran away with it, sure, but I really wanted to believe in their honesty. Thank you for the ride again. You saved my fur out there. Normally I'd invite you for a coffee, but I don't think any place here is open yet. I wonder if I could give you a goodbye kiss, though. I wasn't sure if they were joking or not, but I thought I'd play along and nodded nonchalantly. Then they leaned in and their lips pressed to mine. They tasted of mint. The break of the day came soon, red spilling across the sky, painting only the clouds' underbellies. A nature's spectacle reserved for my eyes only. I opened the compartment and got the camera out with one paw, turned it on, pointed at the windshield, and snapped a photo. As I stared at the sunrise unfolding, something else appeared on the road ahead of me, a border crossing. I made it to Canada. This seemed like the right direction. It was a promise of change, of something else, something new, for the first time in my life. I was about to leave the US. I wondered if I could buy alcohol there. I remembered that in some of the provinces, the legal drinking age was 18, but I wasn't sure. It was only a passing thought, though. Wanted to keep on driving. Alcohol wasn't the best idea. Where was I even? I wasn't too familiar with the geography of the area, I could only guess. I knew I was in New Brunswick from the signs. Had to be somewhere above Maine, but what was ahead of me? The landscape didn't change much with the country. But when I thought of home, the difference between here and Ohio was clear. Change from there to here was so gradual that it was easy to overlook. I had a quick coffee at a convenience store before venturing deeper into the country. Standing before the store, I took in the air that tasted different from back home. It tasted like abundant freedom. The night ride with Bastion invigorated me and filled my heart with hope. I felt like I was finally getting somewhere. After a few hours of driving, I reached the coast. The sound of the ocean grew from a distant murmur, quieter than the rustling of leaves, to a wild roar. The water cut into the land with a wide wedge, water eating away at the shore. It was spectacular. I pulled over and rolled down the window to take in the view. Only when I felt saturated with the sight I continued traveling along the coast, the expanse of the ocean stretching to the horizon on my left. Soon I crossed another border and drove into Nova Scotia. The air was chilly and biting, heavy with mist, but I kept the windows open, not wanting to lose the connection with the outside I felt. Here the land was dotted with lakes and cottages, and something told me I was close to what I was looking for. The ocean reappeared on the right, and I understood that I had to be on a peninsula. I hoped that I would ride through some cozy seaside towns and maybe stop in one of them, but the road carried on forward, steering away from any settlements. And wherever I was, the road was still just a road, a transitory place, a symbol in itself if you think about it. Keeping close to the shore, I finally arrived at a three-way junction with the road that cut through the trees straight towards the open sea. It led me to a thin causeway, and suddenly the water was on both sides, surrounding me. I arrived on an island big enough to house a few settlements. I wasn't interested in these, though, and continued forward to the furthest point of the island. And finally, Scotia. Okay. And finally, I found it. Camera and Pi stepped out of the car and locked it, shielding my face with the other arm. Before me was a completely alien landscape, barren and brut, as unapproachable as the moon's surface. The wind and water spray attacked me like an intruder disturbing this place. He's very purple. And I'm not saying that because his fur looks purple. I'm saying that because he's giving very purple right now. Yeah, he's giving very purple. I don't know how to describe it. He's giving purple right now. And I am holding a knife. Devon is giving purple and I am holding a fucking knife. Go ahead and ask your question. Nah. Miko feels yellow. I don't know how to describe it. Miko feels yellow. Why am I holding a knife? Let me ask you a counter question. Why shouldn't I hold a knife? What's your question, Axel? How tall am I? I answered that. Already, I'm probably shorter than Devon. I'll answer in the server. I don't feel like answering here. Just remind me, because I'll probably forget. I pressed toward the shore. Toward the angry water biting at the rocky land, breaking rocks into pebbles and then eating them with its manifold maws. What am I going to do with the knife? I don't know, just hold it. Biting at the rocky land, breaking rocks into pebbles and eating them with its manifold maws. I pointed the camera at the shore and clicked, hoping I captured something.
I have K for you Theta. Do you prefer linear VN or with multiple route like Dawn Chorus or just if you like Hero Advent?
Okay, this is an interesting question. I'm not gonna cut myself, Amethyst. See? Did you hear that? I put the knife down. That is an interesting question. because it's hard to describe. Like, multiple path VNs, to me at least, feel natural. Like, if a visual novel has multiple paths, then it feels natural. But if it's linear, then you have a lot more control over it. See, my experience with it does not come from VN development, although I have developed a VN. It's Don't Get Too Close. It's on itch.io. You should totally download and play it. But my experience with game development comes from the let me turn on the camera. Let me turn on the camera. My experience with game development comes from the Unity game engine and Unreal Engine. Basically, I think of it like this. Like, if your game has multiple routes and multiple paths that you can explore, then it feels more natural. Because I guess as human beings, all we do in life is make choices. You could decide to eat a piece of cake. You could decide not to eat a piece of cake. You could decide to commit a felony or cuddle a cat. Please note, you should not commit a felony. It's like providing the player with choices allows it to feel more natural and allows you to feel more immersed. Whereas with a linear visual novel, I feel that you have a lot more control over what you want to say. I feel like linear visual novels are a great tool for storytelling because it allows you to convey the exact story that you want to tell, the exact way that you want to tell it. Linear visual novels, I think of them like books. It allows you to do that, whereas I view choice visual novels more like a traditional game. I don't know how else to describe it though. Choice visual novels just feel natural. Like multi-path, multi-ending visual novels feel natural. Whereas linear visual novels allow the developer, writer, or whatever to have all the control and tell the exact story that they want to tell. Anyways, turning off the camera, let's get back to the story. Why did I say it like that? I pointed the camera at the shore and clicked, hoping I captured something. What an expanse. It wasn't the undulating plain of Lake Erie, it was an angry god. It was destruction, and it was creation. It beckoned me forward with a magnetic pull. I took off my
It's
shoes
time
and
to
pressed
drink water.
onwards, soaked with the sea spray, cold from the
It's time
biting
to
wind.
drink water.
Closer and closer, my paw prints erased by
It's
the
time
waves.
to drink water.
Some parts of the
It's
trip I
time
don't
to drink
remember too
water.
fondly, but it was an important experience all around. No, it wasn't the calmness on the ocean, it was the destructive force of nature, the unrelenting fury that requires submission. Why did you run away? I felt like I had to. It was so long ago, feels like another lifetime. I can't really remember my reasons. I don't really believe that, but I can easily imagine it being something he might not want to talk about. I nod, sipping on my coffee. To live by the ocean. That would be a dream. You know, here in Norway, it would be possible. Even around Anslo, there's a lot of residential areas on the coast that aren't terribly expensive. Possibly. I didn't really consider it. So far, I was happy I was able to rent any decent place here. It's nice to live relatively close to the city center, too, but in the long term, no chances for that in Ohio, that's for sure. We have Lake Erie. Even if it's not the same, it's still something. Big enough that cargo ships sail there. Living at the coast. I can imagine myself liking it as well. I'd like to live someplace beautiful, or at least a short walk from someplace beautiful. I like it in the city, but a flat by the coast, or a small house opening to the beach. Oh, that's a dream. Not too attainable if you still want to live somewhere near a city. I think I could give up on the city if I had a seaside house for myself, though After living my whole life in the middle of nowhere, I appreciate the convenience that goes with living downtown. Now I'll see how long it takes until I change my mind. For now, I'm enjoying it slow. What about the move back? To Ohio? Yeah. Are you seriously considering it? I haven't given it much thought yet. I like it here, but I still don't know if this country could become my home. Still, a cottage near the sea could even be a vacation home. I would love it just as much. Rune told me that I'll get used to the sea if I live near it, but I can't imagine it. It's different for him since he grew up by the coast. I don't think so either. I liked living surrounded by lakes, and I'd be happy to have some wilder ones around. The table next to ours, a panther and a fox touch each other's paws fondly, soft smiles adorning their faces like blooming flowers. They're both wearing colored shirts, jackets, and beige linen trousers. Maybe they're going to the concert too? Next to me, Devon looks down at the cup between his paws, already empty. Something wrong? I'm just not used to public displays of affection. Not between men, at least. It's nice to see, very much so. Makes me feel warm inside. Something tells me it's not the whole story. His reaction definitely doesn't hint at any warm feelings, but I don't think I should press. I can imagine. It's nice, affirming in a way. Yeah, I didn't see much of it where I lived. Suddenly I remember Devon telling me how his relationship fell apart. Oh, okay, his reaction makes much more sense now. Is it a matter of shyness? I wouldn't guess so. Could he be afraid? Maybe even it's internalized homophobia? He grew up in a different environment than me. He told himself that in large part he moved here to live in a more open and accepting place where he could be himself openly. But what's stopping him from it might not be external, but something inside him. Was he in any danger, or was he an outcast at the school? Maybe one of his parents caught him with someone and took it badly? Oh, shit. Yeah, we're gonna hold his hand. I don't know, and I might never know. But I might try to help. Do you want to, like, grab my paw? Oh? What for? Try getting over the anxiety if it's something big for you. I don't think anyone other than this pair here could even see us. And I don't think they'd care. They're too busy with each other. Devon's eyes dart around the space, seeking to confirm my words before he puts the empty cup down on the table and looks at his paws. I blurted it out without thinking, and now I'm getting nervous about it. How scandalous! How sinful! Still, I don't want to back away now. I extend my own paws as an invitation. You have held paws with someone already, right? Yeah, just not in a public space. I don't know. It feels transgressive in a way. I always felt like something bad could happen if I did, and I know I'm not making any sense. It's not really, and we're safe here, but I'm not pushing you. I don't think that'll work. Now I feel stupid. Maybe it was too much, and he decides he needs to start putting more distance between us now. But as I'm about to lower my arm, he extends his paw and grabs mine. His pads aren't rough to touch like I expected, but rather firm and smooth and well-maintained. My paw has gotten damp from my anxiousness, but his is just as sweaty. He rests the weight of his paw on mine. Claws peek out slightly from the dark fur. I want to brush my thumb against them, but I wouldn't dare to. Music starts playing in my head. The Radiance by the Recorders. Woozy and warm like a blanket, a sound to snuggle myself into. That's how this movement sounds, wrapped in nylon strings and wooden feathers, with my heart beating below my neck like a metronome. I hold his paw still like a statue, but inside all of my strings are vibrating. Is this okay? He nods and smiles. Oh, that was such a bad idea. What was? The second coffee after two more in the morning? Apparently I'm sensitive to caffeine. But I want to try the filter coffee too. It looks so nice! You could have asked. I'd gladly share mine. It was a tad too big. What's wrong, though? Feeling a bit on edge and my paws are trembling. It should pass in a moment, though. I over-caffeinated myself terribly. I didn't expect the coffee served to be this strong. I tried to smile at Devon, though, through my fidgety misery, but it probably looks like a grimace. If you're feeling unwell, we can sit down somewhere for a while. We don't have much time left to the concert. Better not stop anywhere. Devon stops and looks me in the eyes. Are you sure? The concert isn't that important if you have time. I'm fine, really, just complaining a bit. Where is the philharmonic, by the way? Just a short walk from here near the shore. At least according to the map. The inside looks stunning on the photos. It must be a pretty recent building. And they definitely didn't skimp on it. I'm happier for this than you can imagine. Philharmonics are usually some of the largest, loveliest buildings. Do you know the one in Iceland? It's a huge dream of mine to visit it. I don't think I've seen any in person anywhere. Oh, wait, no, I'm wrong. Rune showed me Anslo Philharmonic on our first walk around the city. It was impressive. Oh, it's your first time in Philharmonic, then I hope you'll enjoy it. Yeah, it's live music. Of course I will enjoy it. I used to sneak out for concerts in the area since I was 16. Live music is an unparalleled, even if a bit dusty, love of mine. Okay, they are so cute! Ah, the cuties! Coffee. Amidst a small crowd slowly walking down the flight of stairs in the middle, leading to the open space in the middle, stands Jorgen and Bjorn. Damn, they both look good, but Jorgen really outdid himself with the fit. Pretty transgressive for a philharmonic. I raise my arm in a greeting. Then I notice someone I didn't expect to see here. Rune is standing next to the two, his eyes glued to the floor. He doesn't look like he's doing well, but at least he's here and he's with friends. Thought he'd be with us, not with these three, though. Or four. Miko has to be in the toilet or somewhere. I can't imagine him not coming. Oh, Rune came as well. Rune? Oh, that's good. Things can't be that bad then. Should we go say hello? I'll talk with him once we're back. Let's not bother him for now. Better, let's find the cloakroom. The concert is starting soon. There's a voice singing in me with the timbre of butterflies' wings. Going together with Devon for a concert. And not just any, but an occasion like this. What a joy it is to be here together. Coach, Devon? Yes? I'd like to document this somehow. It feels like a big evening. Would you mind if I snapped an instant photo of you? You could have it, of course. Oh, I guess it kind of is. Sure, absolutely. I'd love that. I've never had an instant photo taken of me. I liked the aesthetic, but nobody around me had one. It seems like they're making a comeback now, though. Or should I stand? Here's fine. There won't be that much background visible on the photo anyway. I grab my instant camera from my backpack. It's nearly flat and small enough to fit stacked with my notebooks. Any background would do, but this one is just perfect. Warm wood and some blotches of color of all the elegantly dressed people in the lobby. I look through the viewfinder composing the frame, then look at Devon, looking unsure if he should smile or not, eyes glancing to the side. A click of the shutter, maybe the most satisfying sound I know. How does it look? I don't know yet. It takes a few minutes to develop. Now it's just completely white. Ah, I see. Do you want a photo too? Nah, I'm good, thank you. I don't have much film left, and I already have one photo of me from this trip. Let's go to our seats and I'll check the photo then. It's cozy here, as much as a 700-person hall can be cozy. It feels like a friendly, welcoming space, and that's quite a feat for a concert hall. We sit down next to each other. The seats are spacious and comfortable, though we share one armrest and our forearms brush against each other before Devon changes his position. It's pretty in here. It is. Looks like a new building. The acoustics must be fantastic. I scan the room for Miko, Rune, Jorgen, and Bjorn, but I don't think they entered yet. The orchestra is on the stage already, tuning their instruments. The buzzing of many strings drown out any conversations. It's a pleasure to listen to. The notes travel around, searching for their correct pitch, like bees joining into a swarm, chaos organizing itself into harmony. It's music in itself, isn't it? Even if many would dismiss it as pure noise, there's still textures and tension, notes and intervals, harmony and melody emerging from them like an interference pattern. The hands on everybody's clocks are nearing the full hour. There's some tension in the air, an excited tone in people's voices, something that tells me it's a special occasion. The way everyone's dressed says so too. Black dominates the color palette, with occasional crimson and white. Looks like everyone is wearing their best clothes this evening. The instant photo waited inside my wallet for a few minutes already. It should be developed by now. Take it out, and indeed, the colors are vibrant and edges sharp. It came out nice, maybe a tad underexposed for my taste, but still. This shirt fits Devon so well. I'm used to seeing him in tank tops. I never thought he could look so elegant. Did it develop already? Yeah, here you are. Though, can I take a photo of it before I give it to you? Oh, this is quite lovely. Sure, of course. It's your photo, after all. Take a photo with my phone, careful not to catch any light reflecting on the glossy frame, then hand the photo to the panther. Thank you. Suddenly, the buzzing sound dies down, and a second later, everyone in the audience, too. In an instant, the anticipation turns so thick I could cut it with a knife and spread it on a toast. The orchestra stands up, the double doors in the side opens. Out of it comes a conductor, a caribou wearing an all-black tux, making his way to the center of the stage and onto a platform in the middle, to the roar of enthusiastic clapping. A dignified, courteous bow, and he turns to face the ensemble. His paw in the air, the stick held between his fingers like a wand, he holds it still for 10 long seconds before a flick of the wrist sends sets the machinery of the orchestra into motion. Hang on. And that is Devon. Alright, we're gonna race the ad. Stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.